Do bears really go to the gym? Are there gyms in the bear dimension? All I need to tell you about how your bears travel about behind your back at night. Well, if they're doing that, I'm going to get them on CCTV. No, it doesn't work like that, everyone. Today, Mustardo, what are you doing there? Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about how bears travel between worlds. Your first question might be, which worlds? And we're talking about, obviously, this world, the people dimension, and the bear dimension, which is where your bear or your bear's animal will travel back to at the end of its first life, or at the end of subsequent lives, if there, for example, are a bear who has had many, many lives. Meet Miss Penelope Lemon-Biscuit, who's, I'm not quite sure how many you've had. How many is it? Do you want to tell everyone? So now, interactive part. I want you to look into her eyes. She's going to communicate to you how many lives she's had. Now, just to clarify, you're not supposed to get a number, 36. Maybe it is 36. The idea is that you get an impression. So look into the little eyes and see if you feel like she's telling me she's had a lot of lives, or who are you? I don't know. That kind of an energy. So that's because that is the sort of way that you want to read a bear. So that's just brushing you up on your bear reading skills there. So one more time, Penelope. How many lives have you had? You see, she was making a lot obvious that time round. I hope you noticed. So she's a bear that, having had more than one life, it's all you need is more than one. Your second life, you choose to come back to the people dimension. And from there, you can just go back and forth, home again, as often as you like, while you still have enough attention to do that. And attention is energy, as I have said in earlier videos. So as long as you have enough, your energy tank is full, you can go to and from the bear dimension while you're still enjoying this life. Hey, Mustardo? Ha. So, for example, here is a little bear. Has he been here before, do you think? That's one of the things you want to think. Does my bear travel between worlds? Well, the answer is, if he's on his first life, then no. But again, looking for a first life bear, first life animal that turns up. It's going to sound a little bit judgy, but I would expect that a first life animal might be a little bit more simple, less complex of a character, perhaps not massive personality all at once, still finding its way, still looking around and trying to understand the world, I would expect. So therefore, with that in mind, do we think that Mustardo is on his first life? I'm giving you a clue. No, I don't think so, do you? So therefore, this means that while I am safely in bed and asleep, these two can shoot off back to the bear dimension. But it's not quite as simple as out the back door, or out the window down a drain pipe. And how do they get back to the bear dimension? Well, there is a dimension called the corridor. Now, this is a kind of, if you imagine the two dimensions, I'll use the two bears, like bear dimension, people dimension. There they are. And you need something that runs in between them to link them up. And that thing is the corridor. You can imagine it as long and straight if you like, but I'm not sure whether that is actually the case. But in any case, it joins up this dimension, Earth, to the bear dimension. But that's not all it does. The corridor actually will join any stuffy, any toy, any bear, octopus, rabbit, horse, dolly, whatever. When they go through into the corridor, they will find a door to their home dimension. So everyone can hang out. Everyone from everywhere can hang out in the corridor. So it's a very sort of not multi-dimensional place, would you say? It's a place where lots of different types of anima from different types of creatures will hang out, which makes it quite an interesting place to be. So the corridor. is a very attractive and exciting place. And there are bears or rabbits or whoever who, at the end of their first life, they might not want to continue to their home dimension. They might not know about their home dimension. There have been 1 or 2 cases. You have to read some of my books and then you will understand. But it is much less likely. Most bears will via the corridor to their home dimension and then come back from there. So let's just ask Mustardo, our director of morale. Let's remember, keep the morale up, Mustardo. How do you find travelling between worlds? And he says, what you talking about, mummy? What's the corridor? I don't understand anything. Just doing a little joke there. He does understand. He's pretending that he doesn't go back and forth, but actually, while I'm asleep, obviously, because I do like to sleep, it's quite important. He will be racing back and forth to see his friends, to hang out, to do sports. Who knows? So that's what you've got to think about your bear at home. You'll be asleep and they can race backwards and forwards. So you'll find that the entrance to the corridor will not be very far from your house. They can literally out. There might even be one in your house. Bears just instinctively know where these things are, and then they might look like they're walking into a wall, a little bit like platform 9 3/4, but actually they're walking into the corridor. And from there, they can travel back, possibly by foot or car, bus, whatever they choose to do, to the bear dimension and back home. If there's time for a quick snack and a workout at the gym. Usually, do you work out at the gym when you're back in the bear dimension? Yeah, I think that's a no, don't you? I think probably the sort of workout that usually Mustardo likes to do back in the dimension is probably a sort of short stroll to the nearest cafe, sitting down with a scone and a cup of tea. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he's much more sensible. Thank you, mummy. Than going to the gym. And to be fair, do bears really go to the gym? Are there gyms in the bear dimension? Have you ever wondered that? Well, you have now. And the answer is, of course, because there are gyms here. And bears will come over here. They'll soak up all the aspects of the things that we have here, the culture, the languages, the transport, the types of technology even that we have. And that all gradually filters back to the bear dimension. So yes, strange as it may seem, you might get squidgy little teddy bears like this who are working out at the gym. Come on, give us an arm raise, Mustardo. He's not. Look at that. You can see now. This is an example of how you get to know your bear. Can you see how much he enjoyed doing that? Give us an arm raise. Yes. You're on the gym machine, and that's right, lateral raises, whatever they're called. This one. Okay. No. That is a no, isn't it? So if you've got a little bear there and you're wondering, what are his hobbies? What does he like to do? Is he interested in the gym? The answer with this one is absolutely not. What about you, Penelope? Any interest in working out? Oh, look at that, you see. You can see she's possibly hasn't done an awful lot of it recently, but she's interested. But then this bear is actually the sort of bear who is interested in most things. That's why she's so great. But that's really all I needed to tell you about how your bears travel about behind your back at night. And you might be thinking, well, if they're doing that, I'm going to get them on CCTV. No, it doesn't work like that. There's some kind of built-in instinct. They know if you're awake. They know if there's a camera. It's a kind of magical thing because although the bear dimension does want people to understand that bears have anima, they are alive, and you can interact with them, and there's something more there than just a stuffed toy. There's some kind of law that says I don't quite know how to word this, but magic is not supposed to be proved. That's why it's magic. So if you saw your bear running around and a little door opening, woo, bye, see you later, you're going off to the corridor, yeah, I was going for a few pints with my mates. It's not magic anymore, is it really? The scientists would find a way to prove it. Perhaps we should do that. But yeah, the mystery's gone, the sparkle has gone. And I think there is something that protects magic in that respect. So for those of you who are thinking that you're going to set up your webcam, don't bother. It just means your bear can't go back to the bear dimension and they'll probably be a lot grumpier. Do an example, Mustardo. Yes, look at that. Yeah, oh, yeah, don't do it because they'll be really cross with you. Anyway, I hope that you've learned something more about how bears travel backwards and forwards, and now you know that they can. Just remember, if bears are constantly going backwards and forwards to home and back, they've got to have a motivation to come back. So that's up to you, making sure you give them attention, treat them right, make sure there's stimulation. You know, it really is down to you. And that's partly why I'm doing these videos, so that bears can have a longer life here. And you can get enrichment from that as well. Anyway, that's enough from me, and we'll see you next time.